We've been talking a lot, Dani, about IPOs. Will we see Airbnb follow DoorDash when it comes to this kind of pop?
Matt, in a word, yes. It's extremely likely. The trends are all in Airbnb's favor. Of the 21 IPOs, tech IPOs we've seen come to market that priced above their range, 20 of them have seen this big pop on their first day of trading. There's a lot of interest in Airbnb. We know this because it's pricing at $68. That's above the range. So clearly some oversubscription there, a lot of attention and desire to get this IPO. But also what we're seeing with the IPOs this year is sort of this environment where, one, you have a lot of retail traders who want to get into the IPOs. We know Robinhood has been really huge and important in moving markets. And then at the same time, the float tends to be pretty low for these tech IPOs. It was an effect we saw with the Snowflake IPO, for example, where a lot of institutions just didn't want to sell. So the supply-demand dynamics are in favor of shares moving higher. I should point out it wasn't just DoorDash that surged with a debut yesterday. C3 AI, a tech IPO, also surged 120% yesterday.
Yeah, really interesting that the Airbnb follows in that path. If it does then, Dani, because, why is now a time that we're all of a sudden seeing these tech IPOs come to market? There's a lot of really interesting dynamics. Just thinking about Airbnb, yes, it's tech, but it's also hospitality. Hospitality hasn't been doing well. It's not a hotel business, though. It's a very different kind of hospitality business. And in broader hospitality, we are seeing those recovery plays. So there's a lot of different sort of crisscross dynamics when it comes to Airbnb.
Yeah, it's almost like the perfect sort of scenario for Airbnb to come to, because one, if you're treating Airbnb like a tech IPO, it's a really good time for it, which is why we're seeing all these tech IPOs, in that just growthy sort of names tend to do better during economic downturns. And that certainly applies to growth IPOs when there are lots of demand there. And then, as you say, Anna, Airbnb is a bit of a play on hospitality as well. And if you think it's going to come back, Airbnb, that is certainly a play you can make there. So the environment is ripe. The question will be, this $47 billion valuation we're expecting when it lists, can that hold up? What happens to these tech stocks when the economy normalizes? Not just Airbnb, but something like DoorDash. Is that still going to do well when people are mostly going out to eat again and not ordering food in? Look, it really has yet to be seen whether these valuations are justified, especially for these companies which are still not really able to turn annual profits. But still, the interest is there. People happily buying these IPOs when they list. Matt, Anna.